and I've got a very special guest. He comes from the beautiful country of France. We call it France here in the United States. And he is a best-selling author. He is a consultant extraordinaire. He works with one of the biggest companies on the planet. And I'll let you tell more about what he does and what we're going to talk about today. So welcome, Mr. Hervé da Costa. Hervé, how are you?
I'm good. I hope you can hear me well. And
I hear you
uh,
well. That beautiful accent. You just keep talking, man. It's like music.
thank you very much. I'm
Yeah,
here in southern France in the middle of the night. You got me to stay up later,
I
and it's
know.
a pleasure to see you again.
It's great. Thank you so much. So, give us people a little bit of background on your background, what your history is, and what you're doing business wise.
Well, okay, so let me say I have three citizenships. I am from Ivory Coast in Africa. I am from France, and I am from the US. So I'm a US citizen as
Wow,
well. So depending on the airport, I need to make sure that I don't mix up my pockets and get the right passport out.
you
And
are like the new James Bond. You got multiple passports, multiple countries. That's so impressive. I like that.
and they're legal. So
Hey,
so so
James
so
Bond has legal passports too. It's just that they're maybe they're phony. I don't know.
yeah. No, it actually means I lived on really on these three cultures and in these three continents,
Hmm.
and that really has, in a sense, shaped my own uh, character, if you
Hmm.
want
Hmm.
want to say. So I was a French engineer and eventually decided to go finish my study in the US, and I did some research at UC Berkeley, and we were creating the internet, and then I had a technology career in Silicon Valley for about 20 years.
Wow.
And then we launched two startups. And then eventually I decided to do something very different, which is to do what I'm doing today. So I'm
Okay.
based in France now, in southern France. And basically I coach and train senior teams, CEOs, executive teams,
Hmm.
and sometimes a level below. And well, it's all about leading their business, but also balancing their life.
Mm. Okay. It's a really hot topic. A lot of my clients talk about this space, but you are uniquely qualified on a couple occasions and a couple of areas. And one of those areas that interests me, of course, is you're also a black belt in karate, apparently. Yes.
Yeah, that's yes, that's right. I've been practicing karate for over 40 years now.
Uh huh.
I was a child when I was playing with this thing, and I still
Talk
practice
about this.
sometimes 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week.
Wow. Wow. Cool.
And it's rough. And we've been practicing lately in the winter, starting at 5:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
In a cold castle, in a castle somewhere up the hill, and we would
Right.
just gather there and practice and try to survive.
Uh huh. Hey, I just want
It's
to let you know.
painful but wonderful.
Sorry, I will let you know one thing real quick. I didn't change the title of this live stream from last week. Last week I talked about this the child abuse increase in the pandemic. Just so everybody knows, Hervé is not a child abuser. He's a leading consultant in the industry. But it's important to know that I didn't change that slide. So I don't know if we can fix it later, but I just wanted everybody to know that you're a good guy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, child abuse. If you ask my children, they probably will say we will confirm that, right? Uh,
Perhaps, but I
and
don't think
and
so.
and some of my clients may do the same, actually.
Uh, so black belt in karate, and that's a very disciplined martial arts as we all know. But I know you also apply some of the discipline and perhaps strategies or mindsets of your martial arts with business coaching. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure, my pleasure. Actually, as you know, mindset is really the difference between the good guys and the guys that get it, right?
Hmm.
You can train people as much as you can, but if they don't have the right mindset, uh, then that's a limit. And in karate, you have one particular aspect of the mindset is that you steadily practice.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really look at research, you'll find out that the people that really are high performers rely not on talent so much, but on practice.
Mm.
So basically, the more you practice, the better you get. And the better you get, the better you love it. And the better you love it, the better your mindset kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
And the better your mindset kicks in, the more you want to practice. And it goes up and high. So in karate, it's very much the same thing. Sometimes you simply don't want to go and practice, but you have to because that's the way it's supposed to be, and
Mm-hmm.
people expect you to show up there. So you go there, but basically you get better every single time, and then eventually you turn back and say, "How did I get there?"
Yeah.
Right? So
Okay.
this mindset of steadily practicing, I think, to me, is one of the keys to success.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. It's funny when you talk about that stuff. I understand. Because it's a key. It's foundation. But I've also seen some of your photos and videos of you coaching people out in the field. You don't just sit in a lecture room. You have them outside sometimes. I know you've got a beautiful
Yeah.
Zen garden there at your place in the south of France, and whatnot. So talk to me more about your experiential training that you do.
Well, when I get people outside, it's quite interesting. It depends on the kind of training. If it is basically really a corporate training, we don't go that deep. We don't go so much into their personality and so forth. When we have a personal growth workshop, for instance, that's very different
Mm-hmm.
because you want to be breathing, you want to be moving, you want to be with fresh air, you want to feel the ground, you want to feel the wind, you want to feel a whole bunch of stuff. Uh, in corporate trainings, basically, you get them out there to do something, get embarrassed a little bit, and learn from something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or now, more and more, they actually ask me to teach them how to meditate. So I go there and I just teach them how to meditate, and it's really becoming trendy.
Mm-hmm.
And in more advanced workshops, we try all kinds of things. This would be almost too long to explain, but we can have them think deeper, perform exercises that are a lot deeper, that ask very much deeper questions. And being outside works a lot better than being in an office space.
Can you
And
give me an
sometimes,
example of those questions though? I'm really curious about that because people have I ask a deep about I want to talk in a minute about purpose, right? I've got a book I'm working on for
right,
about the topic of purpose, but people ask about a deep question. Give me an example of one of those, could you?
yeah, sometimes basically you're polluted by things that happened in the past. Okay, so one particular exercise that I have is I ask them to walk one step at a time, right? And at every step to say, uh, I blame this thing or this person for doing this thing to me.
Mm.
And they find something that was not good in the past. I blame my mother for doing this. I blame my
Yeah.
father for doing this. I blame my boss for doing this. I blame my client for doing this and everything. So they go there and they go maybe 20 yards. And then I have them come back and say, okay, now say something that is positive about this person or a statement that forgives this person and come back one step at a time. And then they do that, and what happens is that they really get to think about clearing their mind, forgiving, seeing a positive aspect of it, and then we debrief and talk, so what happened?
Do you
What's the
ever
benefit of that to you?
do you ever have
That's
anybody who gets stuck and can't do it? They're so narrow minded on their
yeah,
angst that they can't release it.
yeah. So some guys go far and they can come back.
Yeah.
They stop there and it says, "Hey, looks like forgiving and letting go is going to be a roadblock for a while,
So what do you do?
right?"
You give them a karate chop. What do you do to shake them up? What do you do?
No, I just give them a hug,
Oh, you're such a good guy.
and and whatever happens is okay. It's their thing. It's not about trying to be who they're not, but it's just to realize that uh, this is where you are. So the cost of that may be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you keep thinking of all the anger you have about everybody that messed up your life, then you wasted a lot of creativity there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just blocked by this, influenced by this, and it steps in. You're just not present enough. So it's good to know that, and then begin to learn to let it go, and then come back newer.
Wow.
That makes sense?
Makes total sense. I'm curious. I mean, you've got real depth and breadth with this topic, but you start out, in the Silicon Valley as an engineer. So
Yeah.
where did this wisdom come from? Where did this come? How did this come to be?
Well, in Silicon Valley, there are really several valleys there. There are actually two valleys. There's a technological valley, and then there's a spiritual, personal growth valley there, right? So when you go north of San Francisco, and I spent 22 years there, so uh, I spent 15 years learning all kinds of things
Mm.
and very intense stuff. And we actually made some trips to the volcanoes in Hawaii and
Oh,
meditated there,
nice.
really intense stuff. And I learned a lot about myself, but I also learned a lot of techniques that brings you depth, and I could use that in business.
Mm.
And I used actually so much of it that eventually people suggested that I do this full time. And most of the time, this is basically what I'm doing.
Very
You know.
cool. Very cool. Now, I know also one of your major clients is a company called Louis Vuitton, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what kind of do they have talk about their purpose much about the corporate purpose or mission is?
Well, I wish we did more, and I can't really talk too much about this client because
Oh.
uh, I still want to get some good business there. But look, this is one of the most successful company in the world, and the head of this company is one of the richest men in the world,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So very clearly early on, this guy, when luxury goods were not such a market, early on he decided it was about luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Luxury. All of it was about luxury. And there was really some demand there. And he created Louis Vuitton became Louis Vuitton
Yeah.
as a result of this purpose, a clearer purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very clear. A lot of people criticized that, but he said, this is what we are about. And we are about classy, luxury, stylish, respectable uh, products
Mm-hmm.
that everybody in the world will want.
Sure.
Well, turn out today, if you look at any Louis Vuitton stores, you see a lot of rich people from Asia
Mm-hmm.
uh, lining up. Actually, sometimes coming in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
There in Paris all the time. You have like 200 yards of Japanese
Right.
people lining up early
Mm-hmm.
in the morning to get
Wow.
a chance to get there and waiting, and they get one by one inside the store. So
Yeah.
branding is really important in that company. I've worked for this company for different groups in the company for about 15 years,
Right.
and it's a very demanding environment. I'm
Uh-huh.
very proud of working with them. Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Of course, I don't. Oh, maybe you don't have more Japanese, not many Chinese people, because the Chinese people might come and knock it off, right?
Yeah, more and more and more and more Chinese people,
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's.
and Japanese, and it's a huge market for Louis
Mm-hmm.
Vuitton. Yep.
Wow. Very cool. And of course, I know that you are also a best-selling author. So I want to show everybody your book and what your book is about.
Hey,
Look at
I
that
met
baby.
somebody that really helped me put that together.
Put it,
So
it's fuzzy. You have to put it maybe close to your face. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'll put it here.
No, it's still
Uh,
fuzzy. It's the
well, Skype
recognition. It's the
Skype is doing something.
yeah.
Let me
It's
try
make.
here.
There we go. What color
Right?
is your sky?
Yeah,
That is the book, written in multiple languages. That's the English version. There's a French version, I know,
yeah. The French version is right here.
and I can't pronounce. I want to hear you say it in French. Go ahead and do it in French for me.
Quelle est la couleur de votre ciel?
Oh,
Quelle est la couleur de votre ciel?
I'm so glad you're not German. French is such a beautiful language. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What color is your sky? Terrific. And Wow, it's still selling really, really pretty strongly, and it's good. So it's while I'm talking to you, I'm making a little bit of money, right?
That's the idea. Why
And
not?
that's the whole idea,
Hmm.
and forever. So it's very interesting because uh, I put all my life into it. It's like if you read this, you'll change your life, period,
Wow.
right? And I have clients that say that they go on vacation with it and they sleep right next to it. So put it right there
Wow.
and they sleep with it and then they come back and says, I want to reread this thing and they get a kick out of it, some principles in there and so it's kind of a reference book or something. So I hear what they say, say, well, your book is right here,
Hmm.
right near my bed. From time to time, I pick it up, reread something, and I go on vacation with it. And I've heard people that read it completely and they're starting it again.
Uh-huh.
And I even had one guy that's saying, "This is the fifth time I'm reading your book, Hervé."
Wow.
Or I have people saying, "I'm stuck on chapter 3 or something like that."
Yeah.
And it's yeah. You could be stuck on chapter 1 for many years, actually, if you really check the depth of what's going on in
I'd
it.
be stuck on the first page if I was reading it in French, so I'll have to get the English
So
version, of course.
yeah,
Yes.
well,
Okay, so this is a
hey,
this is
thanks to you. I mean, without you, I wouldn't have done it. And the way you helped me with really phrasing it, putting it there, and the
yeah,
process of publishing it,
yeah.
awesome.
We're very proud to work with you, make you a bestseller in multiple countries. That's what we do every single day for all of our clients, and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate the
And
opportunity as well. So it's a life changing book for many many people. What's it about? What does it mean? What color is your sky? We'll start with the title.
the title is really the question. I came up with this somehow in the middle of a conference in Paris. I had about 100 HR professionals in front of me, and from this huge multi-billion-dollar company, and they had all the HR people there. And then it was raining, and I asked them, "Hey, what color is the sky today?" And they looked at me funny, and this is a stupid question, and they said, "Gray." So we went on like this and says, "Come on, you guys are really smart. Come on, I give you one more chance, okay? What color is the sky?" And he didn't like that. I said, "Come on, what color is the sky?" "Gray." And then eventually I said, "Gentlemen, ladies, the sky is blue. Blue every single day. Gray is the color of the clouds. So when you plan your future, when you plan your success, if I ask you what is the color of your success, are you going to say gray or are you going to say blue?" Because when you talk about gray, you're talking about the obstacles. When you talk
Mm,
about the sky, you're talking about your potential. And that makes a difference. The person that focuses on the blue sky, on your possibilities, don't focus on how to get there.
mm,
Don't focus on the obstacles to get there. You know what you want. I don't know if you're going to reach the clouds, right? But I know that if your goal is the clouds, at best you meet the clouds.
hmm.
But you might, if you have a different goal, go above the clouds. So you got to think of your mindset and think of what are your true goals, how do you think about your obstacles, etc., etc. So
Mm.
it turns out the people that keep in mind that positive, that just want to really transcend the obstacles have much better results.
Hmm.
So the people that want to focus basically on obstacle and say it depends on this, it depends on that, it depends on whatever, those people have less results basically,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a metaphor for setting the right goals, ambitious goals, and not being foolish and unrealistic, but basically succeed every single day.
Hmm.
So a lot about the book is actually about getting clear mind, clear goals, meaningful goals, purposeful goals. So purpose is important. And then bottom line is the rubber hits the road tomorrow. So we'll focus on making sure you're aligned and deliver tomorrow. So
Hmm.
if you and I are talking about anything, I'll be really harassing you on what are you going to do tomorrow, right? What are you going to do tomorrow about this?
Mm-hmm.
Give me one single action that is consistent with where you want to go. So my clients have been practicing those techniques, and it's magical.
It sounds almost too simple, but I understand the power of focus, getting one thing in and just saying let's get it done.
Yeah,
I have a to-do list of 12 things on my board here. When I look at all 12, I'm like I have one thing on there. Just knock it off, man. It's brilliant.
yeah, but it's not about having 12 things. It's about keep this and make it as long as you want. But one of the technique I teach in there is there. What are you going to do tomorrow to have an amazing 1 million day tomorrow?
Mm.
2 days from there, we don't care. A week from here, we don't care. A month from here, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if you're going to be alive 3 months from now, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
with this crisis, right? But you know that tomorrow there's a very high chance you're going to be alive.
Yeah.
So if you basically are full of shit tomorrow,
Yeah.
you will be full of shit the day after tomorrow, right?
That's right.
Okay, so how can we not be full of it tomorrow?
You take a
Let's talk
laxative,
about
yeah.
that,
Let's take a laxative.
right?
Let's get it out of us, yeah.
And- okay, so you come out with what is meaningful to you. I need to do this. I need to do this. But then I have options. I could do this. I could do this. What would be meaningful to you and to your goals?
Mm.
And the guy could say, look, I want to speak French. Say, okay, you're dreaming about speaking French, right? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So what could you do tomorrow about that? Usually you scratch your head and says, well, I could look for online
Yeah.
the best book or training method.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it means you go on Google and you type what best whatever
Yeah.
to begin to learn French. That's one simple stupid action. How long does that take? 3 minutes?
At the most, yeah.
So that's the first thing you do tomorrow. And then you're done for your action for the day.
All right.
Go watch
Google something and be done for the day. Take the rest of the day off. I love it.
go watch TV, right? So
No.
and then the next day, what are you gonna do? Then the guy says, well, I probably will decide to buy. No, you buy or not?
Right.
Okay, I'll buy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And the next day, what you'll do? Well, I'll do 10 minutes. Well, there's a big difference between the guy that did 10 minutes every day
Mm-hmm.
and the guy that speaks about it but doesn't do anything,
Yeah.
right? So you agree with me. But the compilation and accumulation of these small
Mm.
and action changes everything.
Love that. Oh, the small things add up. You talked before about obstacles. I'm curious about that because you're so eloquent and it's so clear the way you're talking about this topic. But, life has challenges, right? And I'm really curious about maybe something happened to you that, you learned how to overcome a big obstacle. Was there a big setback
Well,
in your life you want to share?
yeah, absolutely. Man, I have my share of failures
Mm-hmm.
and I have my share of starting from scratch,
Yeah.
right? But when I came back to France, I was basically I went from vice president in a publicly traded company
Mm-hmm.
to basically a jobless person in France with no job and no income for quite a while
Mm.
because I had decided to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Obstacle is become credible, start a new job. How can you do that? Everybody was telling me I was stupid, crazy. Nobody leaves Silicon Valley. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And when they asked me, why did you leave Silicon Valley? Because I said, I'm going to be more successful right here in France.
Right.
And then it took me a while, but hey, it was the best decision I ever took. Another thing that happened to me was I ended up locked up in a mental hospital once, right? Locked up.
Whoa! I didn't know this.
Yeah. There was so much pressure in this first startup I was, and
Mm-hmm.
the CEO was very abusive.
Yeah.
And I was really, sensitive. And he always was telling me my work was not good enough.
Mm.
And I kept trying to improve what was already really good.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, look, buzz off.
Yeah.
And I worked so hard that I basically became overtired,
Mm-hmm.
too much stress. So I had
Yep.
acid in my body.
Yep.
And then I went to a doctor that really made the mistake of prescribing the wrong medication.
Oh boy.
So he gave me an antidepressant,
Mm.
which was called Zoloft,
Yep.
that accelerates you when I needed to be slowed down. So guess what? Overnight, the director, vice president, locked up in a mental hospital.
Oh wow. Wow. How
Right?
how long was that stay?
Probably 2, 3 weeks. And
Wow.
that changes your life. Obstacle, getting out of basically jail. you know,
Right.
it's basically how do I get out of here?
And
Well,
how
this
did
is,
you? Yeah, let's hear how you got out.
believe it or not, most of the medication were really nerve damaging. So
Mm.
a friend of mine who actually was a nurse in the hospital was
Hmm.
telling me don't take the medication. So the first thing that I did is decide to not take the medication because they were going to destroy my nervous system.
Yeah.
So I meditated all day. I was basically singing Amazing Grace
Yeah.
and meditating all day. And that's how I got myself out of there.
Don't they make you take the stuff, or they don't make you take the pills? I just
I
seen the
just
movies.
like the movie. Have you
Yeah.
seen the movie, The Cuckoo's Net,
Yeah.
Flying Over
Right.
the
Yeah.
Cuckoo's Net?
Yeah.
That's what I did. I was taking the medication, looking at them, and the moment they would turn around, I would spit it.
Wow.
And I needed the medication because my brain was frantic and I was basically
Sure.
paranoid and all that stuff. The only way to calm down was to meditate and center. And so I got good at it
I
because you
guess.
want to
Yeah.
suicide, you want to kill somebody, you want to kill yourself. You have
Hmm.
all this craziness going inside of you, panic, you can't sleep.
Man.
And the way out of it for me was to sing and meditate. They didn't even know I was singing. I was just singing inside,
Yeah.
meditating. And then I blew them away. They couldn't believe it. I recovered faster than anybody they ever seen. In the middle of that, a guy saw me playing chess all by myself. I was
Uh-huh.
playing all by myself while singing. And the guy thought I was crazy, right? So he
Yeah.
came, can I play chess with you? And I destroyed him in about 7 moves, right? And he looked at me and says, what the hell are you doing here?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm here. So
Wow.
I tell you, obstacles exist.
Hmm.
They do exist. It's not about not expecting them, but still my goal never changed.
Mm. Beautiful.
Okay, so setback, it's a surprise, it's a challenge. Well, how bad was that? Well, I tell you, this was one of the best lessons. If you look at most of your obstacles, like many people that get cancer and they
Hmm.
came out, some of them will tell you, thank God for my cancer
Yeah.
because I
Right.
learned to live, right? And you have a lot of those things that you want to look at. So thanks God I got locked up, right?
Yeah. Let me
It's,
ask you. Let me ask you a very specific question about this because I was talking just last night about gratitude, and it's always easy to be grateful for things that are helpful for us. Hey, I've got water. I've got my health. I've got family. I'm grateful for that. When people are going through the crap, however, and it's painful, and things are going poorly for them, it's very hard to be grateful in that moment. It might be grateful when you get out. Oh, I was grateful for that experience. It taught me
yeah.
something. But while you're in the crap, can you live in gratitude instantly right away?
Well, this is when we talk about your mindfulness muscle,
Hmm.
right? Because if you keep practicing those things in the worst conditions, you'll be able to center much better than anybody around you,
Hmm.
right? And keep a perspective. You're in the middle of an accident. Do you scream, panic, or how quickly do you come back to what do I do with this in the moment, right?
Right. Right.
That requires your ability to center. You can develop that muscle, right?
Amazing.
And take some distance with it. You can say, okay, it could have been worse. Here's what's bad. Here's what's really key to do right now. And your decision making becomes really accurate, right?
Hmm.
This is not like saying this is great, this is so exciting, and all of that. That would be like, come on.
Yeah.
This is not
Hey,
this is
welcome to cancer. Woohoo!
this is not exciting.
Yeah.
I'm having a very difficult moment. Well, thank God is not worse, maybe,
Hmm.
but how quickly can I get access to this doctor? How quickly can I get there? And you can maybe see some stroke of luck, right? Something that says,
Yeah.
"Ooh, thanks God, thanks. Okay, that's good, that's
Hmm.
good, that's
Hmm.
good." So you
Hmm.
look for the positive things basically in the middle of the storm, right? And focus on that. And of course, if you're attacked, you don't have time to do any of these things, but you can reflect on a daily basis at the end of the day
Hmm.
and say, okay, how did I survive today?
Yeah.
What's good? What's good about it today? Is
Brilliant.
there anything good about today? Maybe not. But asking the question is key.
Hmm. Brilliant.
Is
I
there,
love it.
can I find anything good in this? Not right now. The only fact that you are able to stand back and ask the question
Hmm.
makes you a lot more different than the people that just are swept by the emotion, right?
Yeah.
I can talk to you so much about this thing. If you read Viktor Frankl,
Hmm.
and he said the guy that survives the, 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 the German uh, camps, right?
Hmm.
And people were dying left and right. It was horror. They were in the middle of the winter with no shoes, right? And he said the guy that did better were the people that could give it meaning.
Hmm.
The people that could not give it meaning were miserable the whole time.
Sure.
Through this, through the whole thing, it was horrible, and they lived it completely. And the big learning was give it a meaning, give even a meaning to your death.
Hmm.
This ability to give meaning when you're in hell,
Hmm.
that's amazing. And that's what I would connect to the gratitude uh, practice, which is a practice in my book.
Right. Outstanding.
Most
Okay. Yeah.
most of us don't have to suffer like that. You know, most of us get fat, eat so good. So at least you pray before you eat, but at the end of the meal, maybe say, "I'm glad I didn't eat too much sugar." Or
Well, I got
what
fed eating
do
your
you do?
French toast. I know when my son and I were visiting you in France that time, I volunteered to make some. Oh, I'll make some French toast. I'm like, Doug, you're in France with like a chef. And I remember when you came out with start peeling the orange. I'm like, oh my god, forget it. I was just going to use cinnamon.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that was a good moment.
Yeah. But I was grateful you were there with your son.
Yeah.
I tell you, the practice of being grateful
Uh huh.
changes everything.
Yeah. Well, it's been great talking to you today, Hervé. I'm very, very proud to be working with you and a friend, and we've got to come back on and talk some more about this stuff. I want to hear more about karate, and maybe we could take a tour. Maybe we'll do like a little live cam thing, take a tour of your beautiful place there, because, man, if anyone's looking for a retreat, I've talked about the retreat center there to like 3 or 4 people. I don't have anything lined up right now, but man, when we do, folks, this is a place to have a retreat. It's
Oh, it'll
gorgeous.
be my honor. We have lots of workshops going on
Oh,
here. It's a beautiful area.
mm-hmm.
We can talk about karate more. There's so much more
Yeah.
to do.
I could put you and my
And
son in the ring because he's a boxer, and you could do karate. We could see how that works out.
yeah, now karate is not about being. I tell you one thing. Karate is not about having a fight. Karate is about killing within the next 2 seconds.
Ooh, don't kill my son. Forget what I said. Fight's off. Fight is off. No, 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 thank you.
It's like it's not maximum power.
Yeah.
It's the right amount of power at the right place.
Okay.
So you see, it's not about boxing, it's about waiting and getting
And
it
killing.
done.
Okay. Well, I don't want to kill anybody today, but I'm going to kill the interview because we're going to move on so people can get back to their stuff. Thank you so much for being on today. We'll talk again. Hervé DaCosta. And of course, if you want to contact him, website is so easy. It's Hervé, HERVE.com, right?
Yep.
You Silicon Valley guys get all the good domains. I love that. All right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Thank you, Doc.